Morning everyone, back at Inanda this morning. Got quite a couple of crew with us this morning. Jason, Ed and Michael fishing with us today. So yeah guys, today I want to talk to you a little bit about a bait that I really like to fish, especially this time of year when the water starts getting a bit cooler, the days are a bit shorter and the nights are a bit longer. So when that water temperature drops, these fish tend to get a little bit more lethargic or less active, and us as fishermen, we have to then try and get these fish to react, and this lure that I'm going to talk about now is probably the best way to do that. I don't know if you haven't guessed it already, it's a jerkbait. This lure, when it gets cold and it gets hard, is one of the best lures you can throw. So today we're going to go throw this a little bit and see what we can do. I'm going to try and share some tips and tricks that work for me, and hopefully it will work for you. Okay, so basically there's a couple of different jerk baits on the market. For me, 6 cents have just got this right. You'll see a lot of my stuff that I fish with is 6 cents, and that's just because of the quality of the lure. I mean, if you look at this lure's colors, I've caught so many fish in this. As you can see, it's been smashed a couple times, but the attention to detail that 6 cents pays, like the oval split ring, these triple grip black nickel trebles, these things are so sticky, and it just seems to basically keep your fish on the hook, where the normal conventional trebles that you get on the cheaper lures, you just lose a lot of fish. So yeah guys, there's one more special thing about this lure is it's a suspending lure. So basically it goes to 1.5 to 2 meters in depth, and then it stays there, whereas the other jerk baits, they tend to rise up or sink. Problem with the jerk baits that sink, you fish around structure, so when they sink they get caught up in the structure, and when they float they go out of the strike zone where you want that piece of the water column that you're looking for. So it's a very big thing for me that the suspending jerk bait, it seems to work a lot better for me. Okay guys, well, we're gonna go head out now and let's see what happens. Cool. Like green pumpkin. Better. Yeah, a little bit better. You got the net there. Yeah, short. Okay guys, there's a little, well not so little, just over a kg I'd say, on the jerk. Nice little one for the morning. Put this fatty back. One more look at it. I think there might be a grass patch here. Come on. Just check out, hook this one, shame it. It was Okay, so I'm not going to wait. Okay guys, so let's talk a little bit about this. The first a tip that I'd like to give you is, once you throw this bait in, you need to reel it about 4 to 6 times on the reel, just to get it down to that 1.5 meter depth before you start retrieving the bait. So you'll see now, I'll give it 6 winds, pause, and then jerk. So that's the first important thing. If you don't reel it that first 5-6 winds, then the bait stays on the top of the water. So you've got to get it down to its depth and then start working the bait. So let's go for another throw, see what we get. So wind it down to depth and then jerk. On. Okay guys, there's something that happens quite often. If your line gets stuck in the hook, just check that, because otherwise your bait won't swim properly. Okay, then the second thing I do, once you've got that bait down to where you've pulled it down to its suspending depth, or whatever you want to call it, when you retrieve that bait, when you start to jerk it, you have to jerk it with a slack line. If you jerk it with a stiff line, you're not going to get that good fluttering action that this lure does. So jerk it with a slack line, I'll show you shortly, and that's going to give this bait a much better action in the water. So that's the second thing that's very important with this bait. Ooh. Okay guys, so if you see here, I am jerking with a slack line. It might look like I'm constantly reeling, however I'm just reeling in the slack after each jerk. So I'll reel in the slack, then jerk, then reel in the slack, then jerk. So yeah, you jerk on the slack line, then reel it in. So that bait's only moving 1/2 meter at the maximum at each jerk. On. Yeah, on. Hooked him twice, Cassie.
Thanks, buddy. Good.
Oh, shit.
Jerking, boys. Jerking.
Don't be a jerk. Oi. Another little jerkfish. Okay, thirdly guys, the last most important thing is to pause this bait. When you retrieve it, give it 2 or 3 jerks, pause, and then change your action. You can give it 4 jerks, 5 jerks, see what they like and how long the pause must be. So if you pause it for 3 seconds and you get nothing, next throw cast it, pause it for 5 seconds in between your retrieve, and so on and so forth until you work out a pattern. But the pause is very, very important with this. A lot of the times as you're jerking it, when you stop, that's when the fish come and grab it. So those are the 3 most important things.
Nathan, watch it.
Oi! Yeah. Nah. Smallie. Just checking. This one got caught. Okay. Ooh, dangerous. So guys, I'm not. Oi! Gosh. Hey, what do you got? Hey guys, so what I was trying to explain there before that fish rudely interrupted us, to jerk it on a slack line. You see, I jerked it, and on the pause that fish actually took. But to jerk with a slack line is very important, because that's when that bait moves like that. So yeah, always keep that in mind. Sure. Check out ate it from the front. Nah, smaller. Yeah, not right through. It goes in. Yay, ballet!
Speel. 4 uur vat om een beetje te groeien.
Oh yes. What, you gonna see them, Daddy? They are flipping. Oh, on. Wait, hold on. Okay. Yeah. Come, boyki. Wait, slowly, slowly. You must play the fish slowly. You must play him slowly. Okay, okay. Let Daddy help you.
There you go.
Whoa. Okay. Hold on. Wait. Leave it. Daddy's had one hook in his hand today. Well done, buddy. Here we go.
Mom's I hold it.
No, you can put it back. But put it back gently, yeah? Gently.
Hey, yo, man.
There we go. Well done. Cool. Okay, how's it guys? Yeah, quite a good day on the water. I think it's pretty difficult to try and make a video with one bait and expect to catch fish. But with this bait, I was quite confident that you could probably do that. And yeah, we did. We caught quite a number of fish. I think it's also really exciting. That's why this is my favorite technique. To actually see that fish come up and grab the lure visually in front of you, that's just awesome for me. Alright, so I think we're just going to go through a couple of the things that I use, you know, tackle wise, and yeah, and the techniques that I use to fish it. So basically I want to go through the rod first. This is very important, you know, for jerkbait fishing. I think the shorter for me the better. I use a 6-8 foot. You know, anything between 6'6", 6'8", 7 foot, you're pushing it. But yeah, it does need to have a certain amount of qualities to it. I think one of them is shorter butt. You know, a lot of the time you're fishing this with your rod tip facing down into the water or towards the water, and you jerking this bait. Hence the technique jerk bait fishing. So you give these jerks, and to do that you have to move the rod. And to move the rod, this back piece, a lot of the times with a longer butt, it gets hung up on your body parts, like your arm or your tummy or your chest. So if you've got a shorter butt, it just gives that clearance to allow more action on the rod. And I find that that's quite important for me. Something with a longer rod, you don't get as much action because the rod keeps hitting you all over the place. Also the reason for a shorter rod is because your rod is facing down towards the water most of the time. When you're jerking it, you don't want your rod tip pulling through the water, because that's going to slow your action down. It's going to slow whatever action you're trying to impart on the lure, And yeah, it can also hit the back of the boat, hit the front of the boat. So shorter rod, pretty good. This is a medium heavy with a fast action to it, meaning it's got a little bit of play on the tip. And that also allows when the fish takes that lure, just to give it a second or two for it to take the lure, and you can load up and then obviously set your hook. And obviously impart a little bit more action on the lure itself. Okay, the reel is actually nothing special. It's an Avagarcia Black Max. It's probably the entry level for Avagarcia, but I've had no problem with this little reel. For what I'm using it for, I've pulled out some very decent fish with it. It's got quite a decent drag system on it, and that's all I basically need for this technique. Because you're not constantly reeling that bait, it doesn't have to have any type of cadence really. It just needs to, the reel just needs to reel in the slack line basically while you're jerking it. Okay, so yeah, line. I think I mentioned it in one of the crankbait videos. The thinner you go with the line, the more action you'll get on the lure. But then again, that's personal preference. I mean, I fish 12 pound with this. You can go 10, you can go 15. It's totally up to you. It just allows, with 10 pound, you probably get that lure down to its depth much faster than the other two, the 12 or the 15. But like I say, personal preference. Okay, the bait, there's three things that I want to tell you about the bait. I think I tried to say them in the video, but I don't know if they came out clear. But yeah, one is to get that lure down to depth. Give it 5-6 ones and really get it down to its depth, right? Number two, when you're retrieving that lure, make sure when you're jerking that bait, it's on a slack line. When you jerk it on a slack line, it actually imparts a lot more action on the lure, so it's more erratic, should I say. And that's what drives that fish crazy, is that erratic movement of this lure. So yeah, jerking on a slack line and then reeling the slack up, jerking it again, so on and so forth. Thirdly, the third thing that I do is to pause this bait. That bait can be moving along, and as it stops, that fish senses its opportunity and it comes out and it smashes that bait. So I think 1 or 2 times on this video, you might have seen that. As I stopped, that fish comes and hits it. So yeah, guys, that's basically it. I mean, pretty simple, but very effective. So yeah, I suggest if you don't have one in your tackle box, go and get one. They really, really do work. Okay, so I mean, I own quite a couple of them. As you can see, they're all 6 cents. I find the ones that work the best for me are like the bass imitation colors, baby bass type color, green top, black gills. I've got a similar one here on the rod that I'm fishing with now. But in saying that, all these colors work. I've got some good fish in clear water on an overcast day with the translucent ones. I think I caught a 3.2 on one of these translucent ones, so they all work. But I'll just say the quality of the 6 cent stuff is top notch. Okay guys, so that's it for me. I hope you like some of the content that we're putting up on here, and if you're learning anything or you want me to cover any other lure, please feel free to comment below. And also please, if you want to like and subscribe, that would be great. I appreciate all the support. And yeah, we'll see you again next time. Cheers, stay safe everyone.